So how to turn an idea into a story. So I recently moved from Northern Virginia to Kansas, and like the Midwest has a lot of things. It has a lot of billboards on like its highways and whatnot. Billboards that are for like traffic accidents, like do you need a lawyer, or like Jesus saves. One of the indicators that I was out of Northern Virginia was when I started to see that the roadkill was changing. Like I saw a dead chicken on the road. I was like, all right, that's new. And the most striking thing that I saw was somewhere in Missouri, right off of Route 70, or excuse me, Highway 70. It was this weird shack type of thing that looked like the back of like one of those like commercial trucks. That's like, it's like the box portion of it where it actually like keeps the stuff inside of it. And next to it was two signs, one that said girls and that the other one said XXX. I don't know what goes on at that shack, but it sounds disgusting, and it sounds like there's definitely a story there, a story or two that the cops have probably been called to. I started to laugh when I saw that there was a billboard near it that said Jesus saves. So what the heck? I haven't been able to stop thinking about it. I'm sure that all of us have come across something unintentionally, not unlike myself, where like we see something and then we're like, we can't get this idea out of our head and we need to get it onto paper, like get it to the printing press, boys. And like sometimes we don't feel comfortable putting our names on such a project because it's like it's kind of cringe, and like I'm not that confident as a writer. But if we move past that feeling of uncomfortability, like then we can open up this door to where it's like we'll have like people that read our material and then like they're like, you know what, this is quite good. This guy, not only does he have my respect, he also has my admiration. That's what I'm talking about, you know? Practical steps for this are to look around at the scene and then to see what you can expand on. So like, and this scene can be like the thought of like a character or like a setting or like just like an image that you have in your head. So let's say for an image, like you have an image of like something, some crap stuck to the bottom of some dude's shoe. Like what does that say about the rest of their day? Like, are they like a fast food worker and then they stepped on some like curly fry, like, and like they throughout their day they like hate the idea of like putting on their like uniform, going to work, dealing with people. Like, no, you can't use both of those coupons right now. Like, oh gosh, flashbacks, war trauma. But expanding on the image, like how can you add conflict to it? So if it is like a fast food worker that's just like stepped in some crap and now they're like kind of like upset, like how can they facilitate that anger? Like, do they quit? Do they yell at their boss? Like, do they like, I don't know, like do something to the drink machine? Like what's your character's next action? And then based on this little idea that we have in our head, like where is this scene taking place? Is it taking place in the beginning, the middle, the end? Like if it's taking place in the beginning, then I'd recommend thinking, or for all these like instances in time in a story, I'd recommend thinking about like the message that you want your viewer to leave with. Like if it's at the beginning, like your character hasn't learned the lesson like that you ultimately want to leave them with. But if it's at the end of the story where it's like you already kind of have a general idea as to how the story ends, like if it's like with like a main character like dying or something, like what's the imparting wisdom, or what is like kind of like the moral of the story that's left that you leave the audience with. If it's in the middle, it's like it's when the character is like struggling. But yeah, think about that. Think about like, are they already at that place of like kind of like completion of their character arc? In assessing when this scene takes place in a story, like work backwards or work forwards from there. So if it's in the beginning or the middle, like work forward, see what comes up, like how you want to end the story. If it's at the end of it, then, you know, work backwards. Like put the character at the opposite point of where they are in the beginning of the story. So if it's a relatively positive end to a story, like then put them in kind of like a bad or unfavorable position at the start of the story, or like put that into like, I don't know, within like the first like 20 minutes of like whatever your work is, like that way, so that it's like their life goes from good to like bad and then back to good. It's called an arc. I have a video on it. Watch that here. Yeah, watch it.